Breaking news. People have committed great atrocities and are building noob houses. This is unacceptable, and today I will be showing you how to go from noob to lavish luxury. Ew, no, get this out of my face. Disgusting. So when originally planning for this video, I was like, I'm not going to build with oak. Oak is so ugly. But I wanted to show you guys that you can build with literally any material and it can look good, even if it's the most obscure color combination. When choosing what different types of materials to build with, it's a good idea to choose contrasting shades. So because the oak is pretty light, I'm going to go for a darker color, like the crimson. It honestly doesn't matter what you choose, as long as it's contrasting, you can make anything work. What I like to do in almost all my builds, and that's what I'm doing here, is just putting my contrasting color in the corners of the square. I originally put deep slate as the bottom layer, but I think this build is too small to do that, so I later replaced it with something that matches the crimson. Next thing is, I think taller buildings look a little bit better. Unless you're going for something specific, I would recommend going for a pretty tall building. Even if it's just one story, I like to build my walls like a minimum of 5 blocks high. So this is what we have so far. We have kind of like a light brown and red color. I decided to use red nether brick for the bottom layer instead. And although I think this is a really ugly combo, I'm gonna make this look cool no matter what, I promise. A key part in making this look like it didn't come out of the sewer is to add a lot of texture and different patterns. So here I'm grabbing all the texture blocks like stairs, slabs, walls, and I'm gonna fill in the house with these things. A game changer thing to do to your builds is adding stairs along the pillars. You can either do this along the entire bottom of your build or just along the pillars. I think it's a good way to add texture. Some other people, they like to put trapdoors on the bottom, also a great option. You're gonna see me do a lot of things to break up the flatness of just the 4 walls, and I started with putting walls instead of the actual block on the top, which just creates more dimension and depth. I then upside down staired all 4 walls and then also upside down staired the pillars. What can I say? Stairs make great decoration. So here's what we're working with. And I'm looking at this build and I'm thinking, what can I add? The walls are looking kind of flat, so let me see what I can put there. I decided to break these 3 blocks and I'm either going to put glass or some kind of other texturizing item. I tried out white stained glass and decided it wasn't really my vibe. I don't think it was fitting with the build very well, so I actually decided to go with oak fences, and I think it fit perfectly. Yeah, for a while you want to work on making that spot pop out. So like here, this is kind of boring. I could put that in. That looks kind of cool. These are just some ideas. There's many things you can do to bring your build to life. What is that? And then mid-building, make sure to take a pause and fly up to the sky to check out a weird floaty thingy. So that is what I did. Decided it was quite weird and quite floaty, and went back down to building. This is like how to make a box look interesting. So I do want to use some glass or windows. Let's see, we could do kind of like a big window. What do we think of that? Might be able to work with it. I think that sticks out kind of far. I don't love it. How about that? Let's use some trapdoors. Okay, I like mangrove, because it's red. I like that. That looks good. So a lot of trial and error when building. There's tons of clips that I'm cutting out of this footage of me just thinking about things and being like, does this look good? Does it not? So don't worry about trying out 100 different things, or if it doesn't look right quite in the moment. Like if you compare the house at the beginning of the video, it looked kind of hopeless, but now it's looking pretty cool. you know, there's some different things you could do with it, but do I like this? Do I like that? Maybe. I think it's okay. So for the roof, I think I am gonna go oak, actually. Building is kind of like making an outfit. If you use one color for the shoes, there needs to be that color in another spot. So I only have oak walls, so I decided that an oak roof would be a really good contrast, and I will use some crimson elements in the roof as well. So the actual log versus wood is usually very different. Like, look at the normal oak wood versus the strip. That's a huge visual difference. So if you don't use a log in the main build, I wouldn't generally use it in other parts of the build. Here we begin the hardest part of any Minecraft build, in my opinion, and that is the roof. It is very difficult to not just put a flat surface on the top and call it a day. Arguably, the hardest part about the roof is just starting it. I recommend just going for it and doing what you know, like I did. I just put stairs all around, and then later I'm going to put fences in the corners that just felt right, and that's just how I bring in different components and test different things and see what works. Like, at first I tried these fences and I was like, oh, that's kind of ugly, but I actually end up keeping it for the main build. Remember, visually interesting. I saw the tops of the pillars and I was like, that's really boring. Let me see if I can bring in something with the roof and just make it more textured and fun to look at. And I went with these stairs and I thought it looked really good. Kind of a stylistic choice of mine, but I really like to add lights into the roof and into my builds in general. Like, even in the walls, sometimes I'll throw in some lights. So that's something fun. It really makes the build come together at night. As you can see, I'm just trying out different things. The trapdoors at the top of the fences was definitely not working for me. I went with these like really mini pillars with a stripped oak, and then later I filled it in with stairs and then filled that in with more stripped oak because I decided the temple vibe of the build just went better with a flatter roof instead of like a really tall, spiky one. Then I decided to add a little. Yep, that's what I did. Well, okay, so I decided to add like this little, I don't know what to call this art piece at the top of my roof, just because I thought it would look cool. So to summarize, whenever you're building the exterior of a house, you have to make sure that you make everything visually interesting. Honestly, you can't really go wrong with more detail unless you're going for a simplistic vibe like a modern house. You kind of want to add just like a ton of detail. It just looks a lot better. I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this video, and I also want to go over exterior decoration, like the land around the house, and also interior design. I'm super into in Minecraft. Let me know if you guys want to see that, but I think I'm gonna make that separate videos just so it's a little easier to watch and you guys can, you know, easily choose what it is you guys want to learn. I'm not a pro builder by any means, so if you guys have any suggestions or tips, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. And also, if you guys have any questions or things that you want to see, also let me know. So yeah, this is the final design. It's kind of doing its own thing. There's no theme behind it. If you guys want to see a themed building video, you know, that would definitely look a little different than this. I was just adding things to a box to make a box look cool. So yeah, the little oak contraption next to this house, I'm probably going to do another video where I actually show like a cool layout of a house rather than just a box. But I just wanted to show how you can make something really simple into something really intricate and interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! I'm trying to make a thumbnail. This is so stressful. Oh my god. I don't understand how this free cam thingy works at all. This is so confusing. Ah!